Can this new electric SUV keep up with real world traffic? I put the Geely EX5 to the test. Check out this video to find out more. What do those performance figures on a spec sheet actually mean when it comes to real life driving? Well, in this video I'm going to be taking the new Geely EX5 for a spin to see if it has enough power, performance and speed to navigate through everyday driving. Hi there, I'm Ross from Ross Perry Productions, and to do these tests we're going to use a few different scenarios. For one, we're going to be merging onto a busy motorway, making sure we can get from say 30 kilometers all the way up to 100 kilometers an hour to make sure we can merge and join the traffic safely. We're also going to be doing a stop to 100 kilometers an hour as well. I don't want to call it a 0 to 100 because we're not on a drag strip. We're going to be doing this in a real life scenario. And next we're going to be taking the car down some country lanes or two-way traffic roads and trying to do an overtake, obviously in a safe manner, but overtaking a slow moving vehicle, just making sure the throttle's responsive enough and we can actually get past another car. And then lastly, we're just going to do some stop-start traffic and go through a city or a town scenario to just see again how responsive that throttle is, how we can nip in and out of traffic as well. Now throughout each of these tests I am going to be cycling through the relevant drive modes. So we actually have Eco there for more your city driving or in traffic, Comfort mode for more everyday driving or on the highway, and then Sports mode if you need to accelerate quickly or maybe overtake, or also if you just want to go and have some fun on the country lanes. Now I'd also like to mention that within each of these tests I am going to have the energy recovery through the regenerative braking set to medium. Now this is actually the top of the range Inspire model, which claims to have a 0 to 100 of 7.1 seconds, whereas the entry level complete model actually has a 0 to 100 of 6.9 seconds. So it's slightly faster, but it does have smaller wheels and it has less equipment, therefore less weight, and that might be the reason. But how do these figures really translate to real life driving? In this first test, I'm going to be doing a highway merge. So I'm going to be driving down, possibly from starting about 30 kilometers an hour, entering a highway, making sure I'm up to that 100 kilometers an hour speed limit. We're actually going to switch over to Comfort, which I believe you'll actually use for everyday driving, especially on the highway. So we're just looked at the highway there, it's quite busy, just going about 30 kilometers an hour, and as soon as I get on the slip road I'm going to get my foot down and get all the way up to 100. Nice smooth power delivery. This has actually got a 160 kilowatt single motor which powers the front wheels, and it's got more than enough power to get you safely up to speed. I'm just actually merging in front of a lorry now, and there was absolutely no problems whatsoever. So from that 160 kilowatt motor, like I say, single motor, drives the front wheels, there's actually 320 newton meters of torque as well. So more than enough for highway driving, even when you've got 5 people in the car. And when driving on the highway, the car has more than enough power to chop and change lanes. For instance, I'm just behind a slow moving vehicle now. I've safely moved into the next lane without any problems at all. So I get that acceleration from say 80 kilometers an hour back to 100, 110, no problem whatsoever. Now when it comes to comfort, this car has it all. It has all of the bells and whistles. Has the ventilated massaging seats, and I must say that massager is absolute winner. And it has the heated steering wheel, everything's smooth and nice. We're going along at 110 kilometers an hour on a highway and it's silent, it's really smooth, and this isn't the smoothest surface as well. So it really is a lovely, lovely car to drive on long journeys. Now if you're like me and you have young children, you might find yourself stopped over in a lay-by more than you'd like to be for obvious reasons. Now I believe that that's the only time you should really use all of the car's power for safety, and that's to get straight up to speed to join the busy highway in enough time to merge safely. So that's where we're going to do our 0 to 100 test. So I'm going to pull over in a lay-by. We're on a busy highway right now. I'm going to come to a standstill and I'm going to prepare the car, get it into sport mode, and then we're going to find a gap in the traffic and get up to speed and merge. And I will just put a GPS timer on my phone as well, just to show you those figures. So we're safely pulled over in the lay-by now, ready to start our 0 to 100 test, and as you can see, the traffic is flying by, so we really want to get up to 100 as quick as we can so we can join the traffic at their speed. So I'm going to switch to sport mode and get ready to go. So we got up to speed and merged with the traffic with no problems whatsoever. So I've just looked at my phone GPS and it says that we hit the 0 to 100 in 8.06 seconds, which isn't too far away from the specified figures. However, there were a few factors. It's slightly windy today and we was actually heading uphill when we done the test. Now, one of the biggest factors in a car's acceleration is how much confidence it gives you in the ability to actually overtake a slow moving vehicle on either a motorway or also a bi-direction road. Now, I haven't come up to any scenario where I've been behind a slow moving vehicle to do a test, but I have run a few simulations and it's got more than enough power to give you that confidence in each of the drive modes as well. So just to show you, we're going along at 50 and you put your foot down and it's absolutely immediate. It's seamless, and I'm in comfort mode at the moment, and in each of the modes it's relatively similar. Obviously in eco mode it's a little bit slower on the uptake, but the throttle response is still immediate. Now, it's also worth mentioning the level 2 intelligent driving system that this car has, and it actually has more safety features than any car I've ever driven before. And that's the main thing about this car. It's all about getting your family from A to B safely. Now, we've actually just come to a deceivingly steep hill that's quite long and continuous, about the same gradient. I'm just going to be doing a bit of a power test on the car. So for this, I'm going to set it to a comfort mode, and I'm going to try and stick to a low speed to just use the car's power to get up the hill. So I'll try to maintain about 25 to 30 kilometers an hour, and I'll just stick at that and try and go all the way up the hill. So let's see how it goes. They're about that 26, 27 kilometers an hour. Just holding it there. No speed drop at all. If anything, it's still trying to accelerate up the hill. Absolutely no problems at all, and it may not show on camera, but this is actually a deceivingly steep hill. Acceleration isn't just about speed, it's about responsiveness to everyday conditions. And we're currently sitting in city start-stop traffic, and as you can see, there's a car stopped in front of me, so I'm just going to have to nip around it. And I'm in eco mode, so let's see how responsive the throttle is, because I need to just get in the gap in the traffic. And it's just effortless, there's no problem at all, even in eco mode. As I mentioned earlier, I have been driving the car with the regenerative braking on, and to be honest, I've hardly noticed it in comfort and sport modes, but when you switch to eco mode, you do notice it's there when you take your foot off the throttle. But I guess that's the whole point of the eco mode. You want to be as efficient as possible and save as much energy as you can going from A to B. So how did the all-new Geely EX5 perform in my everyday acceleration tests? Well, really good actually. The acceleration was smooth and predictable, and overtaking and merging was absolutely effortless for the car. It was really smooth on the highways, and pulling in and out of traffic wasn't a problem at all. So whilst it's not a sports or performance vehicle, it's also not trying to be a sports or performance vehicle, but it gives you that perfect balance of comfort and performance that you need for your everyday driving or taking your family around and keeping them safe. And that brings me to the end of my video on the Geely EX5. I quite liked it, but what did you think? Leave me a comment down below. And also let me know if you'd like to see more real life tests like this on my channel. If you found it interesting or helpful, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below, check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel.